Labor inspection. The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions.
The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary.
With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. Technical and advisory visit. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAB. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in the self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet.
Establishment owners carry a big responsibility to comply with labor laws, including submitting reports and providing documents like payroll records during inspections. But the manual filing process is a major challenge. They need to spend time, money, and effort to fill out forms and deliver them to the DOLE office, often dealing with traffic and delays. Sometimes, there's a long wait just to confirm if the report is accurate and complete. And it's not just employers facing difficulties. DOLE employees also struggle with limited manpower and the time-consuming task of reviewing and processing these reports. The time has come for change. What's required now is a more innovative, streamlined, and efficient process for handling compliance reports. One that will simplify life not just for businesses but also for DOLE employees. Welcome to the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, your all-in-one platform for seamless compliance submissions, designed to make compliance easier and more convenient for establishment owners. Telecommuting reports? Flexible work arrangement submissions? Reporting the 13th month pay? No problem. Even work accident or illness reports and the annual establishment report on wages, everything you need is now in one convenient portal. Plus, the DOLE Online Compliance Portal now includes the latest requirement for reporting movie and television shoots under Department Order 246, Series of 2024. All your compliance needs in one place, quick, secure, and hassle-free. With the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, registering your establishment is a breeze. Our automatic registration system ensures you are instantly compliant with OSH Standard Rule 1020. Once submitted, your certificate of registration is immediately available for download, saving you time and effort. If your establishment has been flagged for non-compliance during labor inspection, don't worry. Required documents can be submitted quickly and conveniently. And if you're missing certain policies, like a mental health program or OSH program, we've got you covered with downloadable templates. Submit these documents directly through the portal, where DOLE inspectors will review, provide feedback, and keep you on track for compliance. With admin access on the DOLE online compliance portal, the labor inspectors can easily review the submitted reports and documents from the establishments. If further verification is needed, they can schedule an online meeting through Google Meet, all within the portal. This streamlines compliance checks, saving time and making the process more efficient for everyone. It's a smarter, more efficient way to stay compliant and keep your business running smoothly. Welcome to a new era of compliance, simplified, fast, and effective with the DOLE online compliance portal.
Isang mapagpalayang hapon po sa ating lahat, ng taga-subaybay sa ating episode 22 ng Webinar Wednesdays. Mula po sa pamunuan ng DOLE, kay Secretary Tolentino sa Bureau of Working Conditions, ikinagagalak po namin ang inyong pakikilahok. Ako po si Mark Brian Torres, isang Senior Labor and Employment Officer mula po sa DOLE Regional Office 4A, representing the DOLE Bureau of Working Conditions, at ako po ang inyong magsisilbing tagapagpadaloy sa episode 22 ng ating Webinar Wednesdays na may theme na Creating Accessible and Inclusive Work Environment. Bago po ang lahat, tayo po muna ay manalangin. Inaanihan po namin ang lahat na buksan ang kanilang mga puso para sa maikling panalangin ng Panginoon.
Let us bow our head and put ourselves in the holiness of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear Almighty and ever-loving God, we glorify and thank your name. You have showered us with so much blessings, and your presence continuously remind us of your faithfulness and guidance. May we humbly ask you to shower our speaker today of your greatest inspiration, so that he may share the most of his knowledge, his field of expertise, and to his respective topics. May we also absorb the invaluable knowledge, experiences, and put it into practice that we may learn today. Your infinite blessing would mean the success of this webinar. May we be a living witnesses of your genuine love through the enactment of the knowledge acquired through this activity. We ask this in the name of your Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Maraming salamat po muli. Ina-invite po namin ang ating mga ini-invite po natin ang ating mga taga-subaybay na mag-comment kung saang bahagi po sila ng bansa na nanonood, at kung saan ang kanilang kung ano yung kanilang mga job designations. Sila po ba ay mga HR, admin, business owner, union representative, o kung ano man ang inyong tungkulin o gampanin, i-comment po ninyo. Gusto po sana namin magkaroon ng picture or pulso o demographics kung sino-sino po ba ang mga nanonood sa ating mga Webinar Wednesdays. Balikan po muna natin ang topic na diniscuss po natin last week na may temang Navigating Political Intervention in Compliance and Enforcement. In a nutshell po, ang topic na ito ay tungkol sa kung paano i-navigate ang compliance at labor and employment enforcement in collaboration po sa ating mga local government units. When the lines get blurry, integrity becomes our compass. We discovered how to utilize all the available resources, including options to collaborate with our fellow government agencies while ensuring fair, objective, and effective compliance and enforcement. Last week's Webinar Wednesdays was in collaboration, by the way, with Valenzuela Local Government Unit. Sa puntong ito, we would like to invite our participants to like, share, and follow our social media page. Ito po ang facebook.com/dolebwc1949. That's 1949. Para po sa mga updates and early access to new developments and releases regarding labor and employment. I-share niyo po din sa inyong mga Facebook groups, mga chat groups, mga kaibigan, ang ating Webinar Wednesdays na nangyayari po ngayon para po mas madami po ang makapanood at matuto. Po. Muli po ang ating Facebook page po ay facebook.com/dolebwc1949. Maraming salamat po. Time na po para i-introduce po natin ang ating speaker. Alam naman natin na lahat na pagdating sa HR at management, ang usapang accessible at inclusive workplace ay hindi na lang basta uso or para lang may ma-check po tayo sa ating mga compliance lists. Sasaklaw ang diskusyon natin ngayong hapon sa pagbuo ng accessible at inclusive workplace para sa mga persons with disabilities o mga PWDs. Binibigyan din ngayong hapon ang provision sa ilalim ng RA 7277 or yung Magna Carta for Disabled Persons at iba pang labor guidelines na nagbibigay sa mga PWD ng karapatan at pantay na oportunidad para sa pasweldo, benepisyo, at proteksyon laban sa diskriminasyon at unjust na termination. Tatalakayin din ngayon ang responsibilidad ng mga employers na magbigay ng reasonable accommodations tulad ng flexible work schedules, work adjustment, at accessible communication. Habang may nakukuha silang mga legal at tax benefits para dito. Lilinawin rin ngayong hapon ang magkakahiwalay ngunit nagtutulong-tulong na papel ng HR, supervisors at mga katrabaho para labanan ang stigma at mapatupad ang maayos na recruitment, emergency preparedness at inclusive workplace culture. Siyempre, bilang mga HR practitioners na majority ng mga nanonood sa atin at mga company administrators, aminin natin, mahirap i-balance ang employee well-being, diversity at accommodation habang sinisiguro nating sumusunod pa rin tayo sa mga strict legal frameworks natin dito sa Pilipinas. Medyo nakakahilo at komplikado siya i-navigate. Kaya naman, para tulungan tayong himayin at mas maintindihan ang topic na to, we are very privileged to have an expert with us today. Siya ang magbibigay sa atin ng linaw through both legal and practical lens. Kaya saktong-sakto yung mga advices niya para sa atin. Our speaker today is a practicing lawyer specializing in labor, corporate, and intellectual property and commercial law. On top of his role as a full-time associate at a prominent medium-sized law firm in Makati City, He actively serves as a Deputy Director for Labor for the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, or IBP, Rizal RSM branch or chapter rather. He earned his Juris Doctor degree from the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law in 2023 and successfully admitted to the Philippine Bar in the very same year. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our speaker as he guides us on how to build legally sound, highly accessible, and genuinely inclusive work environments. Please welcome Attorney Matthew Cassis.
Maraming salamat po, Engineer Torres.
Thank you,
Sige
sir.
po, I will, if I have the floor, I shall share my screen po. Sige po. So, again, I am Attorney Matthew Cassis, the Labor Subcommittee Head for the IBP Rizal RSM Chapter. So, nandito po tayo ngayon para sa ating pagtalakay tungkol sa creating accessible and inclusive work environments. So, one thing or ang unang dapat nating maintindihan is dapat maintindihan natin ano yung disability inclusion. It's to operationalize enforceable rights to equal opportunity and non-discrimination, humane conditions of work, and equal protection. So, ibig sabihin nito ay kailangan isa katuparan ang pagkapantay-pantay ng lahat ng mga manggagawa or lahat ng empleyado, regardless po kung ano man condition, physical or mental nila. At saka, yung pangalawang pagka-importante po niya ay para to reduce legal exposure for employers across hiring, tenure, and workplace standards. So, mabawasan po ang exposure po or ang mga exposure po sa paglabag po sa mga batas at alituntunin po natin patungkol sa inclusivity and accessibility po ng mga PWD. So what is accessibility? So accessibility is providing reasonable accommodation. So ano po yung reasonable accommodation? Itatalakay ko po ito mamaya po, but naka-definition po ito or paloob dun sa RA number 7277 or the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons as amended by other relevant laws po. So what is inclusion? Ano po yung inclusion? Ang inclusion ayon sa batas or yung RA number 7277 ay naka-define or nakadepina as no disabled person shall be denied access to opportunities for suitable employment. So hindi porket na PWD or disabled ang isang tao, ipagkakait sa kanya po ang oportunidad para sa naaayon na pagtrabaho ayon sa mga galing po nila or ayon dun sa mga abilities po nila. So yung second aspect naman is a qualified disabled employee shall be subject to the same terms and conditions of employment and the same compensation, privileges, benefits, fringe benefits, incentives, or allowances as qualified able-bodied persons. So ang ibig sabihin po nito ay hindi lang sa pag-hire or pag-engage po ng mga PWD ang inclusion, kundi pati sa mga kondisyon ng employment. Kasama po dito ang tamang pagbayad, tamang mga benepisyo, promosyon, at mga oportunidad sa loob ng isang workplace. So bago po tayo mag-proceed po dun sa ating pagtalakay, ano po yung disabilities? Karamihan po, pag iniisip natin po ay PWD, naisip lang po natin ay physical disabilities po. Pero hindi lang po yun yung definition ng mga PWD po or ano po yung mga disabilities. Basis po nito ay ang kaso ng Drugstores Association of the Philippines versus the National Council on Disability Affairs. So dinedepend natin ito ang iba't ibang klaseng disabilities. So first is psychosocial and behavioral. So psychological and the like po. Chronic illness po, kadalasan hindi natin ito nakikita, pero kung may malubha po kayong sakit, pwede po kayong ma-classify po as a PWD. Learning or cognitive or intellectual po. For example po, may hindi agad-agad nakakaintindi or minsan po may mga learning or attention disabilities po kasama po ito dito. Pang-apat po ay yung mental po. So ibig sabihin po pag may depression or other kinds of mental illnesses po, considered po yun or pwede mo consider yun as pagiging a person with disability. Visual seeing, a very common one as well po. So visual seeing, yung hindi agad-agad nakakita or nahihirapan makakita kung walang mga tools or mga kagamitan gaya ng salamin po. Number 6, yung orthopedic or moving po, hindi nakakalakad or hirap po maglakad, pwede po makonsider as PWD yon. And 7 is yung communication deficit. So kasama dito yung mga hirap sa pandinig at nahihirapan magsalita or hindi makakasalita po. So what are the common barriers po or ano yung mga madalas na hadlang sa isang PWD or isang person with disability sa workplace? So discriminatory hiring or selection filters. So ito yung case ng Bernardo versus NLRC na tatalakayin ko maya-maya po. Degradation into inferior job tracks or statuses. So kahit na hinahire na po or in-engage po yung PWD, tinatrato sila as lesser po kumpara sa mga wala naman pong disabilidad, which bawal po yan sa ating batas. Pangatlo, yung unequal pay benefits and limited advancement. So ibig sabihin po nito, kahit pare-pareho yung trabahong ginagawa po, mas mababa po yung benefits porket PWD or limited advancement. Ibig sabihin, hindi agad-agad na promote, hindi agad-agad na bibigyan ng raise, hindi agad-agad binibigyan ng oportunidad kung ikumpara sa mga hindi po na PWD employees. At yung pang-apat ay termination or non-renewal premise on disability instead of job-related criteria, often without attempting reasonable accommodation. So, ang ibig sabihin nito ay tinatanggal po or hindi nire-renew yung kontrata ng isang PWD dahil lamang PWD po sila. At yung pagtermina or pagkatanggal sa empleyado ng PWD ay kadalasan walang attempt po or walang pagsubok para sa reasonable accommodation or yung akomodasyon para at least makasubok na magtrabaho ang isang PWD. So, ano po yung benefits po or ano po benepisyo sa pagkakaroon ng isang accessible and inclusive workplace po? Of course, with the employees po, ang una ay equal access to jobs and retention in suitable work. So, ibig sabihin may security of tenure po, di agad-agad sila basta natatanggal. Pangalawa po ay yung equal pay benefits and employment conditions. If we follow po yung tamang patakaran ng sa batas natin patungkol sa accessibility and inclusion, ang PWD dapat, kung pare-pareho naman po yung ginagawa nilang trabaho, kumpara sa hindi po PWD, ay dapat equal pay, equal benefits, and employment conditions po. Access to promotion, training, and career development po. If we follow po yung pagiging accessible and inclusive ng workplace, porque PWD ang isang tao, dapat po ay hindi pinagkakait sa kanila ang promosyon, ang pag-training, edukasyon sa trabaho po. Workplace adjustments that enable equal performance. So reasonable accommodation po. We'll discuss this later on po kung ano yung reasonable accommodation. Pero basically mga gawain po ito ng mga employers para mabigyan ng oportunidad or para mapatas or level yung playing field between PWDs and non-PWD employees. Next is protection from disability-based dismissal without first attempting accommodation. Na-discuss ko na po ito noong una na hindi basta-basta pwede tanggalin ang isang empleyado dahil lamang siya ay PWD po. And of course, greater job security against special arrangements that downgrade status. So, yung mga short-term contracts po, yung lesser yung pay, walang security of tenure, pinagkakait yung ibang benepisyo na dapat entitled po sila and the like po. Pero po, hindi lang po para sa mga empleyado po ang mga benepisyo na kukuha pag may isang accessible and inclusive na workplace po. Meron rin pong mga benepisyo ang mga employer or yung mga kumpanya po. Ang unang-una po ay, of course, it's compliance with laws and regulations. That's the first po na, kumbaga, sumusunod po tayo sa batas or sa mga regulasyon po ng DOLE and ng ibang ahensya. Pangalawa po, actually, hindi po to alam ng karamihan po. Or nandito po, ito po ay nasa PWD, Magna Carta for Persons with Disability po. May benepisyo po para sa employers. Additional 25% reduction from gross income equivalent to salaries and wages paid to PWD employees. So ano po yung ibig sabihin po nito? Mababawasan po yung kinakailangan yung bayaran na buwis po. Pag nag-hire po kayo ng PWDs, 25% nung 25% ng salaries and wages ng PWD employees pwedeng ibawas po na dagdag po doon sa gross income, doon sa income statement po. In relation to this po, may additional 50% deduction po from net taxable income equivalent to the direct cost of the improvement or modifications. So kung baga yung sa una, yung sa 25% ay yung sa medyo top line po. Deductions po yan sa gross income po. Ito naman, sa net income naman po, 50% po ng mga direct costs of improvements and modifications to accommodate po yung mga PWDs po. So that includes po pag-install ng mga physical devices or ng mga facilities para maka-access po yung mga PWDs gaya ng ramps, elevators po. Also, in addition po, pwede rin po yung mga specialized equipment po dito para sa mga ating PWD employees po. The next two po are more intangible benefits po. Hindi naman po sinasabi po to sa batas, pero of course, it creates a more motivated workforce. So of course, if you empower your employees, kahit na ano man ang kapansanan po nila, ano man ang disability nila, mas motivated po sila, mas nagaganahan po sila magtrabaho. At nandito rin po yung improves employer reputation. Of course po, nababalita po yung mga inclusivity efforts ng mga iba't ibang kumpanya. I will share some examples po sa dulo po ng presentation ko po, pero it improves employer reputation, which improves as well the employer of the company, or rather the reputation of the company as an employer po. So what are the legal rights and employer responsibilities under accessibility and inclusivity po? So what are the laws protecting PWD workers? So first of all is the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons. So this is RA 7277 as amended po by RA 9442 and RA 10524 po. Next, of course, more of general po to. It's the labor code po. Again, this is general po for all workers' rights. However, pwede rin po natin gamitin to pagprotekta sa mga PWD, especially when it comes to equal treatment po. And DOLE Advisory number 15 po, series of 2023. Nandito po yung mga general guidelines po on PWD workers, including encouraging private establishments to hire at least 1% of their workforce being PWDs. Includes rin as well here some provisions po of a very old law, BP 344, the accessibility law. Hindi ko nabanggit dito, pero meron din naman pong kasamang provision ng BP 344 na nandito po sa DOLE Advisory number 15. So in terms of accessibility of facilities and the like po. So I will share po some cases po that are important with regard to PWD. So first is, I mentioned this before, Bernardo versus NLRC. So this involves po some disabled workers for a particular bank po na binibigyan po ng mga short-term contracts po. Wala pong security of tenure. Pero yung mga employees po na to ay nagper-perform po or gumagawa po ng mga trabaho similar po doon sa mga hindi po PWD. Nirule po ng Korte Suprema po dito na as hindi po valid po yung arrangement po na binibigyan po sila ng short-term contracts lang po as kumpara po doon sa mga walang disability po na empleyado. So the important thing here, or important provision here, is that the court believes that after showing their fitness for work assigned to them, they should be treated and granted the same rights like any other regular employees. So this is a very doctrinal case po in terms of equal treatment ng mga employees na walang disability at yung mga employees na may disability po. Bawal po sila i-discriminate po just on the ground na PWD po sila, especially po if they're performing the same tasks and they hold the same positions po. However, there's another case po, Isaregi versus Philippine Airlines. This is the doctrine about the bona fide occupational qualification, or BOFQ. So this case po involves a flight attendant on the heavier side who was given more than one opportunity to comply with PALS weight requirement for cabin crew employees. So basically po yung flight attendant po na to ay binibigyan ng maraming oportunidad para sundin po yung weight requirement po nung sa PAL or Philippine Airlines. However, hindi niya nasusunod po to. Sinabi po ng Korte Suprema na valid naman po to. Kasi sinabi po nila, in other words, the primary objective of PAL in the imposition of the weight standard for cabin crew is flight safety. It cannot be gainsaid that cabin attendants must maintain agility at all times in order to inspire passenger confidence on their ability to care for the passengers when something goes wrong. So, ang ibig sabihin po nito, basta it relates directly to a core function of the role of that employee, then an employer can discriminate. However, first, there must be reasonable opportunity given to the employee to comply. And second, the discrimination cannot be arbitrary po. Hindi lang pwede basta-basta po ang diskriminasyon. Pero kailangan po related po siya sa core function po ng isang empleyado. For example, po, may physical disability po yung tao, hindi siya basta-basta nakakalakad. Tapos yung role po niya ay related to safety. Di ba po? Gaya ng flight attendant. Hindi lang po pagsaserve po yung ginagawa po nila. Ang ginagawa po nila is to ensure safety in case na magkaroon ng emergencies po. So syempre po, pag may physical disability ang isang empleyado at safety related yun. So, with regard to this, ano po yung mga opportunity and equal treatment in employment? So, dalawang aspects po yan. Equal opportunity and equal treatment in employment. So, equal opportunity, bigyan ng oportunidad ang PWD kung naayon naman ang abilidad po nila or kaya naman po nila gawin yung trabaho, bigyan po sila ng equal opportunity para mag-employment. Equal treatment, ibig sabihin walang discrimination sa like. Next is to prohibit disability from hiring, onboarding, engagement, promotion, and retirement po. Bawal po yun. Next is to provide reasonable accommodation, so accessibility and job adjustment so that PWDs may be able to perform their functions, or rather, they will be able to adequately perform their jobs. So next is to not terminate merely by reason of disability without first seeking accommodation. So responsibilidad po ng employer na bigyan po muna ng oportunidad or ng accommodation po yung employee na may PWD bago po sila isisante po. So next is to ensure a barrier-free environment, workplace premises accessibility per as mentioned before, BP 344. So, yung BP3 private buildings po na may access po ang publiko po, such as ramps, elevators, and the like po. Para yung mga PWD po ay basta-basta or madali makakagalaw. Sige po. Next naman po is workforce inclusion measures. So, under Labor Advisory number 15, series of 2023, there includes a 1% quota. Although this 1% quota is usually applied po or is just applied for government agencies, in-encourage po yung mga private employers na sundin po yung 1% quota. 1% of the total workforce ay PWD po. Sige po. Next naman are workers' rights. So, next po is the right to equal opportunity for suitable employment po. The right to non-discrimination in all key employment decisions. And the third important ito, right to equal pay, benefits, and employment terms. So, yun yung previously na-mention ko. And the right to reasonable accommodation. Gaya nung kaakibat po na obligasyon ng employer, dapat po may right po si employee na bigyan po siya ng reasonable accommodation para po magawa po niya yung trabaho po niya. Right not to be screened out by unfair standards or segregated. Unless, of course, related po directly po to sa trabaho po niya or key role po nila. Right to fair advancement opportunities. So promotion, training, raises, and the like po. So employees also have rights against disability-based termination without accommodation efforts. Again, right to security of tenure with equal treatment, and right to a barrier-free environment, which includes access to buildings. Before we proceed, okay naman po, naintindihan naman po natin sinasabi ko po. Sige po. Accommodation po. This is based on Section 4H of RA number 7277. Are improvement of existing facilities used by employers in order to render these readily accessible to and usable by disabled persons, and modification of work schedules, reassignment to a vacant position, acquisition or modification of equipment or devices, appropriate adjustments, or modification of examinations, training materials, or company policies, rules, and regulations. The provisions of auxiliary aids and services and other similar accommodations for disabled persons. So, ano po yung ibig sabihin po nito? Dalawang aspeto po dito po yung nakalagay po dito sa reasonable accommodations. First is existing access to facilities. So, of course, dapat po may mga ramps, dapat po basta-basta makaka-access or madali ma-access po yung mga work environments po ng mga hirap maglakad or hindi basta-basta nakakita. Yung elevators, dapat po may braille, mga ganong klaseng bagay. But that's not the only thing in terms of reasonable accommodation po. Hindi na lang physical premises po or physical facilities po ng isang kumpanya yung dapat bigyan ng reasonable accommodation. Pero pati na rin yung pagtrabaho ng employee. Kung pwede naman po, bigyan sila ng flexible work schedules, Pwede po sila bigyan ng ibang trabaho na hindi naman nahahadlagan ng kanilang pagiging PWD or kanilang disability po. And of course, acquisition or modification of equipment. So, adjustment ng mga equipment po and the like po. Magbibigay po ako ng ibang examples po. Also, importante rin po yung adjustment of rules and regulations to accommodate yung mga PWD as well. So, what is creating an accessible workplace? So first is physical accessibility. So again, as mentioned, make the premises barrier-free. So include ramps, paths, toilet, signages, parking, and the like po dun sa facilities ng isang employer as far as practicable. Build reasonable accommodation into workplace design and operation. So include this in company policies, include this in the design of the offices, sa OSH program, and the like po. So next is integrate the accessibility into OSH welfare facilities planning. So in terms of planning yung facilities po ng office, kaakibat po dito yung DOLE pag i-inspect po to make sure that accessible po yung workplace, na wala masyadong barriers in terms of physical movement po ng mga PWDs, especially pagdating ng mga emergencies po. And lastly is to implement a practical office accessibility compliance program. So aside from the physical facilities po, dapat meron rin pong, as far as practicable, programa po yung employer para po sa accessibility po. So when it comes naman po to communications and information systems po, one of the first things is to adopt a written reasonable accommodation process. So communications included. Some examples po, I'll mention it later na rin po, braille keyboards, audio prompts, and the like po. So these gives reasonable accommodations to PWDs who are hearing or sight impaired and the like po. Also, ensure no one is excluded due to lack of auxiliary aids or services. As far as practicable po, dapat po i-accommodate po ng employer yung mga PWDs po, especially kung may abilidad naman po sila gawin yung trabaho. So next is to remove communication barriers where readily achievable or provide alternatives. So in case po, for example, hindi nakakarinig na maayos po yung isang empleyado, pwede naman po visual po yung mga cues po, may teleprompter, especially with the advent po of AI or advent po of technology, pwede naman po yun live na itatranscribe po yung sinasabi po. Pwede naman po gawin yun. So there are very many opportunities po para gawing mas accessible yung workplace po with regard to the technology of today. And of course, align HR practices with DOLE guidance on PWD inclusion. So overall po, in terms of the compliance aspect naman po to. So what is inclusive recruitment, hiring, and onboarding? So recruitment and job ads. So importante po dito is ay gumamit lang po ng job-related or skills-based criteria po. Hindi po mainam or hindi po maganda na ibabase lang po ito sa abilidad ng isang empleyado na wala naman kinalaman dun sa actual na trabaho po niya. So next is no sex-based or gender-based or physical ability-based discriminatory ads or requirements. And of course, do not impose anti-marriage rules for women, or rather, do not impose anti-PWD measures or anti-PWD rules with regard to jobs and recruitment. Next naman po is interview and selection. So no sex-based or PW-based pay, training, or promotion or favoritism. So next naman po is to avoid yung mga no spouse, anti-nepotism bans needed unless there's proof that it's needed based on business necessity. Also with regard to PWDs, there should be no program against discrimination for PWDs unless there's an absolute necessity, and it must be specifically mentioned why there's an exclusivity in terms of a particular disability. And do not deny suitable opportunities to qualified PWD applicants. So porket PWD yung isang aplikante, hindi dapat ipagkait po ang oportunidad na magtrabaho po ang tao, lalo na kung kwalipikado naman po siya based sa edukasyon, based sa experience po niya, and base po sa abilidad po niya. So next is applications and screening. So as much as possible po, no unnecessary health screening as pre-employment prerequisites. Of course, meron naman po ito, importante po naman na ma-health screen po yung mga empleyado po. Pero make sure na it's related lang po dun sa actual work na gagawin. For example po, mausok po or may malaking posibilidad na magka-problema sa baga po yung isang empleyado, dapat po may health screening na wala po silang TB, mga ganun po. So no discrimination as well based on health status unless for accommodation po. As far as practicable po, dapat po pag nalaman po ng isang employer po na may disability or may sakit po yung isang empleyado, dapat po wala pong diskriminasyon unless one, it's related to accommodation. Ibig sabihin, bibigyan oportunidad yung isang empleyado na try ni employer na i-accommodate po yung disability po nila, or if it's directly related to a core function of the um, employer, or rather if the disability of the employee or the work environment of the employer will directly affect or worsen the disability of the employee, then of course kailangan na po mag-step in si employer. And of course, in relation to our data privacy laws, keep health status confidential. So there should be no compelled disclosure as well, unless of course it's directly related to a core function or core aspect of the work environment po. So lastly, it's when it comes to offering an onboarding. So provide reasonable accommodation to PWD employees. I cannot emphasize this enough na dapat bibigyan ng oportunidad para makakompete in equal footing po ang isang PWD po through providing accommodations and tools ng isang employer. Next is adopting a mental health non-discrimination plus confidentiality protocols. So when it comes to employment po, of course, hindi lang po physical po yung pwede maging disability po. Pwede rin po ito mental health related. Of course, dapat wala po tayong diskriminasyon kung ang sakit ay physical or mental po. Dapat equal treatment po yun. And of course, confidentiality protocols in relation to sakit, in relation to sicknesses rather. And lastly po is the PWD inclusion planning. So dapat po kasama po sa mga company policies po natin ang inclusion po ng mga PWDs. So next naman po is emergency preparedness and safety considerations for PWDs. So first is to maintain a PWD inclusive emergency plan. So kasama po ito ng OSH program. So in case na may sakuna, in case na may problema, dapat po may PWD inclusive emergency plan. So dapat po, first of all, one example is to have a team lead. Dapat po accountable po si supervisors po, si managers for all employees, including those na may PWDs. Pwede rin po mag-assign ng body system po. For example, may isang empleyado na ka-equal rank ng isang PWD employee, dapat magbantay sa PWD in case po na may sakuna po nangyari. And of course, regular drills po para sanay na po yung mga empleyado, whether or not PWD or hindi, doon sa mga sakuna na pwede mangyari. Next is to use audible plus visual alarms and clear instructions to ensure accessibility features are covered in building plans. So of course, one example here is in case na may sakuna, dapat po readily visible po yung mga emergency signs po natin. Pag alarms po, hindi lang po enough na audio alarm po. Dapat po meron rin pong visual po na alarm at saka po may other alarms po and notifications po. Next po, in relation to the accessibility law, is to keep routes, exits unobstructed. So to provide ramps, lift, accessible corridors, and maintain evacuation equipment. So importante po to. Dapat po readily accessible yung mga premises po ng employer, whether or not may sakuna. But especially po, pag may sakuna po, dapat po may rampa, dapat po may elevator po, and dapat po accessible po to sa mga ating empleyado, lalo na yung mga PWD. So next is to identify safe holding areas, ensure waste disposal, and allow privacy measures where feasible. So of course, ensure na, pag for example may sakuna, dapat may particular holding area or safe area saan pwede magstay yung mga empleyado. Ensure that walang toxic waste po or any form of waste po na possibly makaka-harm sa health ng mga empleyado, and also allow privacy measures where feasible. So dapat po nirespeto natin yung privacy ng mga empleyado, lalo ng mga PWDs, because may health-related po na concern po sa kanila. And of course, to provide first aid, health support, and monitor and isolate potentially infectious persons during emergencies po. So of course, when it comes to PWDs po, lalo na yung mga may chronic illness po, lowered po yung resistance po nila, or yung ibang PWDs po, mas may risk po sila maka-suffer po ng illnesses po. So it's important to provide first aid to them, to all employees, to monitor their health and support, and also to avoid their exposure or to prevent their exposure to anything that can harm them or that can worsen their conditions po. So how naman, or how do we build an inclusive workplace culture? So in terms of promoting respect, dignity, and equal participation, so first is to have equal opportunity and terms. So do not deny qualified PWDs access to suitable employment. So it's important, as mentioned previously, na to apply the same terms and conditions. Dapat pare-pareho po yung mga condition, yung mga tasks po nila if same position naman po. And not to use special arrangements to evade regularization, gaya nung sa unang case na site ko na binibigyan lang po ng short-term contract. Diba po? And then the second po is the inclusive hiring and staffing targets. So dapat po inclusive po yung hiring po. Dapat po hindi didiscrimina yung PWD dahil PWD lamang po sila. Dapat yung basehan po sa pag-hire po ay base po sa abilidad and sa credentials po ng isang aplikante po. And of course, it's important to adopt and document inclusive hiring practices and staffing targets for PWD representation. So again, I reiterate po yung sinasabi po ng DOLE na ini-encourage po yung 1% quota po out of the total workforce, 1% at least PWD. And of course, reasonable accommodations. So implement reasonable accommodations, build these into HR workflows. So request form, dapat interactive yung assessment, may written approval and denial. And then, of course, to train supervisors to implement consistently po. So reasonable accommodation, it does not start lang po with the actual accommodations po. It has to be built into the company policies. It has to be built into the different department workflows, HR, and the like po, the home department of the PWD po. And of course, dapat po, yung mga tao on the ground, yung mga immediate heads saka supervisors po, ay train po para to address the need for these reasonable accommodations. Also, it's important to include non-discrimination safeguards. So prohibit discrimination in recruitment, promotion, and termination for mental health conditions. So it's important to allow continued work with medical certification and keep health info confidential po. So of course, importante na wag po magdiskrimina dahil lang po siya ay PWD, whether or not it's a physical, psychosocial, or mental po na disability po. Avoid po termination just on these particular grounds, unless of course proven po na talagang detrimental to the health of the employer, or rather the safety of the employer and its employees, or the particular employee, yung pagpapatuloy ng trabaho po niya para sa isang employer. And of course, kung cleared naman po sila medically to work, give them the reasonable accommodations and opportunity to work. And next is to have only job-related standards. So use job standards only if they are reasonable and genuinely job-related. So BOFQ and reasonableness test. So it's important to only use job standards or gumagamit lang ng mga standards po sa pag-select po ng isang employee kung kailangan po talaga ito para sa isang trabaho po. And of course, importante rin is to have a grievance and workplace culture. So it's important to establish a clear grievance handling channel. It's generally to all employees po yan, but especially for PWDs po, may mga hinaing po sila, may mga problema po sila sa buhay, dapat po open po yung communication channels po with upper management po. And lastly is to have a respectful workplace culture measure for all employees. So dapat po ini-inculcate po or tinuturo sa mga empleyado, hindi lang sa management, na dapat respectful po tayo, dapat nagbibigay tayo ng respeto sa mga tao, whether or not may disability or hindi. So how do we address stigma and workplace discrimination? So first is, of course, placing non-discrimination as a core company policy and placing it in the company handbook. So of course, usually sa company handbook, meron naman po nakalagay na general policies po ng company. Common practice na po ngayon to include non-discrimination for PWDs, for gender, for other aspects as well, and for health reasons. Dapat walang discrimination po. Next is to provide training and communications for all employees regarding non-discrimination against PWDs. So it does not stop lang with the management po of the company po. Importante po na pati mga empleyado po ng isang kumpanya or isang employer po ay binibigyan po ng training at tinuturuan po na bawal po or frowned upon po ng discrimination against PWDs. Next is to specifically train and educate direct supervisors and heads of employers who need special accommodations. So importante po to because yung mga supervisors and yung direct heads sa mga employees who need special accommodations po, sila yung on the ground. Sila yung madalas nakakasalamuha nung isang empleyado na may disability po. So dapat may special training and education po sila to address po, and of course, sensitivity rin po with regards to PWDs. Next is to provide a mechanism, so confidential if needed, or tago if kung kailangan, for PWDs to communicate needs or accommodations, as well as grievances against particular employees for discriminatory acts. Again, importante for all employees, dapat may grievance machinery po ang isang kumpanya or isang employer. Pero especially for PWDs, PWDs, medyo sensitive po kasi because a lot of it is in relation to their health, to in relation to their mental abilities and the like po. So of course, ang sensitibo po yung impormasyon po na to. Kaya importante po na may mechanisms po ang isang kumpanya para on how to deal with these po. And lastly is to provide mechanisms to penalize unreasonable acts of discrimination and have a zero tolerance policy against discrimination. Of course, we want to avoid this naman po na may pinape-penalize na empleyado po. Pero of course, dapat po may ngipin pa rin po yung mga policy po ng kumpanya, lalo na if it's for the benefit naman of all the employees. So, institutionalize po dun sa mga company handbook yung mga zero tolerance for discrimination. So, dapat po may penalties for discriminations, especially against PWDs po. So, how do you effectively communicate with PWD workers? So, first of all is to adopt a written reasonable accommodation process. So, including communications po to. Dapat po nakasama po sa company policy po na bibigyan po ng reasonable accommodations po si employee po. Next is to ensure no one is excluded due to the lack of auxiliary aids and services. So, importante po yun na hindi lang dahil kulang po ng kagamitan po isang employer, hindi po dapat ibig sabihin na exclude po yung isang empleyado na may disability po. Dapat as much as possible, ini-integrate po sila into the company culture. So next is to remove communication barriers where readily achievable or provide alternatives. So if kaya naman po ng finances po or kaya naman po ng kagamitan po ng kumpanya, mag-install po ng mga kagamitan na makakatulong sa pag-communicate po ng mga PWDs po. So for example, braille keyboards, audio aids, visual aids, and the like po. And lastly is to align HR practices with DOLE guidance on PWD inclusion, such as wording policies more inclusively. So of course, politically correct, yung tamang term ay dapat PWD or personal with disability po. Tamang term po yun. Dapat mag-avoid po tayo na gumamit ng mga derogatory terms against particular PWDs po. So ano po yung role ng HR department? So the role of the HR department is to lead the design, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of workplace inclusion-related policies and programs. So definitely po sila po yung nagsispearhead po ng mga polisiya with regard to employees in general, especially PWDs. So next is they build capacity. So they ensure that HR and OSH personal training on psychosocial hazards, identification management of mental health concerns, and inclusion sensitivity practices. So, of course, may special role yung mga HR or OSH personnel po na dapat po nakaka-identify po sila ng mga PWDs po. And of course, they know how to deal with them accordingly so that they can be properly integrated into the workplace. Next po is important, dapat maintaining po ng confidentiality and restricted access to yung mga medical and mental health records ng mga employees. So, importante po to because after all, yung mga records po with regard to PWDs are classified as sensitive personal information under our data privacy laws because they relate to the health history of a particular person. And lastly is to provide coordinate reasonable work accommodations when needed and establish referral mechanisms for workers needing support. Of course, dapat aside from just giving accommodations po sa mga empleyado po natin, HR po, dapat po may referral mechanism for workers needing support. This is in relation po dun sa grievance mechanism po na there's a mechanism or a opportunity for PWD employees to communicate their grievances po so that management can do the proper accommodations, to do the necessary measures to accommodate these employees po. What now are the roles of the supervisors and managers? So first is to model appropriate behavior and implement inclusion anti-harassment policies effectively, including taking immediate action on reported or observed violations. So of course, it leads by example po. The supervisors and managers must be examples po of being inclusive po, of being non-discriminatory po. And of course, within their own departments, they must implement measures to ensure that there's no discrimination. And that if ever there is acts of harassment or discrimination against PWDs, dapat po nare-report po ito na maayos po. And dapat the company should deal with this accordingly. Next is to prevent retaliation against complaints, witnesses, and help maintain a safe, respectful work environment. So usually this is implemented through a whistleblowing policy. For example, may PWD po or may empleyado po nag-complain. Dapat po confidential po yung pag-report po as far as practicable. Dapat po hindi isinasuwalat or hindi pinapublish po yung pangalan na nag-report. And of course, have a culture that reporting is okay. Reporting acts of harassment, acts of discrimination is accepted within the workplace. Hindi po yung sinestigmatize pa po yung mga nagre-report po ng mga ganitong klaseng bagay. And then third is to make reasonable work adjustments and accommodations in line with policy. So return to work arrangements for those na may sakit and work redesign where needed for mental health. So of course, make reasonable accommodations, work adjustments based on the health po of the workers. So let's say for example, may sakit po yung isang empleyado po. Pwede naman po siya magtrabaho pero hindi po siya dapat po na-expose sa mga hazardous na environment or bagay-bagay. Dapat po bigyan po siya ng reasonable accommodation when possible po na hindi naman nakakaantala sa operations po ng isang kumpanya or ng isang employer. Now for the role of co-employees and workers. So it's important na they participate in consultations and policy-making process for inclusion-related workplace programs. So including mental health po to. Dapat pong may participasyon po yung mga empleyado po, whether rank and file management or supervisory, with regard dun sa policy making of the workplace inclusion-related programs and that they support these programs created by management. Next is to support co-workers at risk or with mental health conditions and refrain from discriminatory acts. So of course, it's not enough that management has an inclusivity in mind or that they do not practice acts of discrimination. It must be all throughout the workforce. Dapat po sa management, dapat po sa supervisors, dapat po sa rank and file po. And dapat may collaborative or supportive work environment po, lalo sa mga PWDs po. Which goes to the next point, which is to avoid bullying, harassment, or threats, or shaming or alienation of PWD workers just because of their fact of them being PWDs. And lastly, it's important to cooperate with internal mechanisms on workplace harassment. So of course, if may nakikitang problema with regard to harassment in the workplace, dapat po nare-report po to. Hindi po takot or hindi po nag-anilangan mag-report po yung mga tao pag may mga ganitong klaseng bagay na nangyayari po para po ma-address and ma-prevent yung workplace harassment, especially for PWDs. So what are practical workplace strategies po that we can implement po? We went to the law, now we go to practice naman po. So what are some simple and low-cost accommodation practices? So for space and layout po, clear pathways, move services workstation to ground floor and add basic signages po. So for example, may mga PWD workers, dapat po accessible po yung hallways po sa kanila. Or for example, may PWDs po, dapat po readily accessible yung workplaces na po nila. If nasa ground floor naman po, hindi naman hirap. Or if medyo mataas po yung office, dapat po may ramps, dapat po may elevators and the like po. Next is to have or accommodate schedules. So flexible start and extra breaks, allow additional time for assessment and training where needed. So for example po, may sakit po yung isang empleyado, kailangan po niya magpa-check up often po. Dapat po if as far as practicable, bigyan po ng accommodation po, i-accommodate po yung medyo mas flexible schedule po. Especially if back naman po to ng medical certificate or medical documents. Also, the next is when it comes to tasks and work methods. So, they assign non-essential physical tasks to other employees. Let's say, for example, hindi naman necessary sa job description ng isang empleyado yung strenuous task, mabuhat ng maraming dokumento, maglakad around, i-assign na lang sa ibang empleyado if possible po, na may kaya po na gawin yun. Next is to use a buddy system for occasional lifting or errands that require physical activities po. So buddy system po, they work in pairs po. Pwede naman po si employee na may disability will do other tasks and the other employee will do other tasks that the PWD cannot do. And of course, allow remote or online coordination as well. Because less strenuous po yung mga online or remote communication versus physically going to someone within the office. So, dapat po may internal chat system po yung office po or yung employer po. May way po si PWD to communicate remotely to fellow employees. With regard to communication, written instructions, checklists, include, as mentioned previously, captions for videos or meetings. Again, take advantage of AI po, yung mga live transcription and the like po. Dapat po, if kaya po ng employer or ng company na magkaroon ng ganong klase mga tools, gamitin na po natin. Use technology to our advantage. Allow text and email instead of voice-only calls po. So, especially if alam naman natin na medyo hirap makakita yung makarinig po pala yung isang PWD, dapat po avoid po natin of course na tumawag. Or let's say for example, nahirapan makakita yung isang tao po, avoid po natin yung masyado maliit na text, dapat i-accommodate po yung mga disabilities po nila. And provide interpreters and readers if possible naman po. And lastly, as mentioned previously, is policy adjustments. So dapat we should allow assistive devices, permit support persons, and modify policies to avoid excluding PWDs unless it causes undue burden for the employer and affects their operations. So, allow assistive devices. So, pwede hearing aid, pwede mga wheelchairs, dapat po i-allow yun sa company po. Permit a support person, let's say for example, may immediate family po na pwede namang pumunta or samahan po yung isang PWD, dapat po i-accommodate po yun. Or if not po, wala naman pong makakatulong doon na outsider po doon sa PWD employee, dapat po may support system po within the company through the other employees. And modify policies to avoid excluding PWDs. So, dapat po tanggalin na po yung mga discriminatory hiring practices unless kinakailangan po talaga based on the operations of the company po. So, with regard to flexible work arrangements and support systems, so flexi time, so reschedule hours to accommodate therapy, transport, and fatigue management. So, let's say for example, a PWD or a person with disability, kinakailangan pumuntang therapy, kinakailangan pumuntang doktor, dapat i-accommodate dun sa work hours. Kung kaya naman po na later po yung start hours po nila, work hours po, then go ahead po. Or for example po, kailangan mas frequent po yung breaks po nila, dagdagan po natin yung mga breaks po nila as long as they're able to do the work. So another option rin as well is to have hybrid or remote work. So fixed core hours with output-based targets. So pwede naman po sila mag-work sa bahay basta na mamonitor po na maayos yung pagtrabaho po nila. Another option po is, this is allowed under our laws, the compressed work week po. So, we can allow or pwede naman po i-reduce yung number of work days po ng isang PWD as long as hindi nababawasan po yung pay or benefits po nila or work hours po nila. And of course, dapat in consultation po with them and dapat may voluntary agreement mula sa employee and dapat bigyan ng notice po si DOLE kung gagawa ng compressed work week na arrangement for certain employees po. So next is accommodation and restructuring. So written accommodation plans, so essential functions, agreed accommodations, plus review dates. So included in company policies and reassign non-essential physical tasks and keep essential functions intact. So basically, assign the non-essential functions for a particular job to someone else who can handle it and let the PWD or the person with disability handle the essential functions of a particular job. And lastly is communication and support. So written instructions, again, with regard to communications, accommodations for those who have visual, hearing, and speech impairments po. Dapat po, as much as possible, if the company can afford it, or the employer can afford it, or kaya po gawin ng employer, dapat ma-accommodate po nun. It's highly encouraged po, after all. Especially because may mga tax benefits naman po for provision po ng mga accommodation equipment po used to accommodate PWDs po. So, how do we develop inclusive workplace policies po with regard to PWDs? First of all, by keeping in mind these key thrusts when it comes to creating company policies. So first is non-discrimination. This is the most important po, na dapat walang diskriminasyon laban po sa mga PWD. Second is, kahit na walang diskriminasyon, dapat po bigyan po sila ng reasonable accommodation para magawa po nila ang kanilang trabaho. It's not enough po na walang diskriminasyon. Dapat po bigyan po sila ng oportunidad and ng tools para they can compete on equal footing compared to non-PWD employees. Next is accessibility or barrier-free standards. When it comes to promotion, when it comes to job retention and the like. And of course, equal opportunity terms and opportunities. Equal employment terms and opportunities rather. So equal pay, equal opportunity to be promoted, equal benefits and the like. So dapat, aside from these po, aside from keeping in mind what I just mentioned, the next aspect is to operationalize these through clear procedures, rules, and accountability mechanisms. So, importante po na hindi lang keeping it in mind yung mga sinasabi ko, pero dapat sa company rules po to. Dapat nakasaad po to sa mga alituntunin po ng kumpanya sa company handbook and sa company policies po. And lastly, is how do we further operationalize these company policies? It's providing training to all employees, especially direct supervisors and or managers, in implementing these key trusts in all aspects of work. It's not enough that the companies have a trust on non-discrimination or reasonable accommodation. It's not enough po na nasa company policy po siya. Importante po, train rin po yung mga employees po nyo to deal with discrimination or to deal with accessibility and inclusivity po in the workplace. So lastly, what are some examples of success stories with regard to inclusivity and accessibility? So there are multiple success stories here in the Philippines, but I choose these three in particular po. So in Accenture Cebu, they installed braille keyboards and voice controls on its computers, enabling visually impaired employees to work effectively in BPO operations. So just because hindi sila masyado nakakita, may braille po sa keyboard, so they're able to type, or if they're visually impaired, may audio po na prompts po. Next is Shell Philippines po. Nag-establish po sila ng own diversity and inclusion team dedicated to creating equitable workplace practices and fostering an inclusive culture. So this goes back to the company policies aspect. As long as it's built into the policy that may diversity and inclusion po in the workplace po, then the rest will follow. And lastly, yung Caravan Food Group. So mga food kiosks naman po ito. I think you've seen some of their kiosks sa mga malls. More than 50% of their personnel, including frontline service crew, are PWDs. So dito po yung mga food kiosks, sumasama po sila ng mga visual guides on proper communication and sign language for customers po. So it empowers people to actually, or empowers PWDs to actually work, or actually empowers them to, that they are in equal footing po with those without disabilities. So overall po, the key takeaway in this is that first, there should be no discrimination against PWDs. Second, dapat bibigyan ng reasonable accommodations and accessibility po yung mga PWDs. Third, dapat built-in po ito sa mga company policies. And fourth, dapat po, hindi lang po sa company policies, hindi lang po sa upper management po nag-a-apply po ito, pero dapat po, ine-educate rin po natin po yung lahat ng empleyado natin to avoid discrimination and to inculcate a culture of inclusivity and accessibility sa workplace. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, Attorney Matthew Cassis, para sa napaka-informatibong diskusyon on integrating inclusiveness in our workplaces. We have to thank our listeners din po for staying with us in spite of our technical and connection difficulties earlier. Please bear with us. Maraming salamat po. Ang pinakatumatak po sa akin personally po ay yung aside from the compassion, ay yung incentivization, yung specifically yung sa tax incentives, correct me if I'm wrong, attorney, with or without the incentivization, this is enforceable, So nagko-comply ka na nga, you are nagko-comply ka na for one, and then you are entitled for incentivization, So
yes, tax incentives po.
Mag-comply na po tayo, no? Kasi hindi lang po with or without po ng incentivization, this is still enforceable, po. And meron tayong ilang questions. Ibig sabihin, nakinig po sila, attorney. Po. Kaya naman po dadako tayo sa mga question and answer portion ng ating webinar Wednesdays. Okay, ang una po nating questions. Attorney, paano po i-implement yung 25% reduction from gross income equivalent? Saan po dapat mag-report? Or saan po mag-a-apply para dito?
Well, pag ganito po naman, it's usually automatic. Usually when it comes to reduction on gross income or deductions po, usually our tax code allows deductions naman po. Usually it's reported to BIR through the income tax returns and through if corporation kayo, usually through the audited financial statement. So normally you just have to indicate na it's what do you call this? It's a reduction po or it's a deduction po for, let's say if it's for the salaries, yung 25%, gross income po yung deduction po niya. Pero if it's for the accessibility tools, then it's the net income naman po. So dapat po sa tamang area po ng financial statement or financials ng company, dapat po siya i-deduct. Pero i-report lang po to sa BIR through the usual financial statements naman po and ITRs po.
Okay. So, dumako po tayo sa pangalawang question. Are PWDs, especially those with siguro po no physical or visible disability, um, required po ba i-disclose yung condition nila, or the company pwede bang i-obligate ng kumpanya na i-disclose ng kanilang mga empleyado yung kanilang disabilities, especially for those people na hindi po visible yung kanilang disabilities?
Generally, no po. It's not a requirement po because it's sensitive personal information naman po with regard to the employee. However, there's an exception to the rule. Pag yung empleyado po, or rather the company, or rather the disability of the employee directly affects his performance or can directly affect his performance sa work po. Let's say, for example, may certain psychosocial disabilities po that can cause safety concerns po within the company, then the employer po can require the employee to disclose po those kinds of information. Pero generally po bawal unless may particular reason po or may reasonableness on why the employer is requiring these kinds of things po.
Okay, thank you, attorney. Meron pa po tayong third na question. Ano po ang responsibilidad ng management sa personal information ng PWDs? I think the question is referring to mga personal information na hindi po siguro willing yung ating people with the persons with disability na ilantad. Ano po yung may mga personal information?
With regard to that po naman, yung responsibilidad po ng management is of course to keep it confidential po. Bawal po isiwalat po sa ibang tao. Of course, there are exceptions to the rules. I don't think I mentioned this in my presentation. Let's say, for example, may HMO po si kumpanya. Minsan required po sila na i-disclose po yung mga ganun klaseng bagay. Pero generally po, they have to keep this information confidential po. Bawal isiwalat dun sa ibang tao unless it's absolutely necessary po in fulfilling the rules of management or the employer po in providing the benefits po. Also, if it's in relation po in providing reasonable accommodations to the employee, then of course they need to collect that information. Pero of course, if wala namang practical purpose, dapat po confidential po lahat po yun.
Okay. So meron pa po tayo, pang-apat po na question. Ang PWD ID po ba ang requirement for proof as proof before hiring? I think let's rephrase this. Pwede po bang i-obligate ng ating mga kumpanya na gawing requirement yung PWD ID pre-employment requirement, attorney?
No po. Although a PWD ID will help naman po, it's not a requirement po for a person to be considered as a PWD. As long as there's other competent proof naman po na meron silang disability, whether psychosocial, physical, psychological, mental, and the like po. So pwede naman po may med-cert po, pwede naman po, inherent po yung disability po, kitang-kita naman po. Pwede naman po yun. It's not necessary na dapat may PWD ID po. Dapat lang po may proof po na they're suffering really from that disability po.
Okay. Siguro po, last two questions, ano po, hindi ko po alam kung listed po siya. Okay. Is it considered as a discrimination if in case di matatanggap sa work due to sa yung condition niya as pagiging person with disability?
Do you mean if discrimination po ba, let's say for example, hindi natanggap sa work, and PWD po siya? Well, with regard to that po, it has to be proven po talaga that na-discriminate po siya because PWD po siya. Of course, kasi there are other aspects na pwede naman pong ma-discriminate validly yung isang tao. Let's say for example, qualifications, educational background, experience, and the like po. So, generally po, if there are other aspects na for example, may difference po naman talaga na, let's say, clear naman po talaga na may disparity po in terms of the qualifications of a person and work experience and the like, then generally that won't be considered as discrimination. Pero of course, if equal footing or even greater po yung qualifications po ng isang PWD tapos hindi pa po siya tinanggap. And it's proven na dahil PWD lang po siya, discrimination po yun.
I think, attorney, mahirap ipatunayan na hindi ka natanggap dahil PWD ka. Paano yung burden of
Oo,
proof
medyo
mo
mahirap po.
paano po kaya paano siya makakatanggap ng information na anyway, sir. I think
You can
that's
compare
all.
naman po the
Sige, sir.
qualifications po naman rin po. I mean, of course, it's going to be difficult po. It's difficult to determine the qualifications of yung kalaban niyo po sa isang trabaho. Pero if proven naman po, you're able to get that information naman po. That's the way you can do that po.
Okay, attorney, I think that's all the time we have. Thank you very, very, very much po. So maraming salamat po, Attorney Cassis, for your valuable time and for sharing your expertise with us this afternoon. Tunay pong napakalaking tulong ng inyong mga ibinahaging kaalaman para sa ating mga viewers at participants. Bago po tayo tuluyang magtapos, nais po naming ipagkaloob ang aming munting Certificate of Appreciation bilang pagkilala at pasasalamat sa inyong suporta at makabuluhang contribution para sa ating webinar Wednesdays. This Certificate of Appreciation is awarded to Attorney Matthew Cassis in recognition and sincere appreciation of the invaluable support and significant contributions rendered as resource speaker in the successful conduct of Webinar Wednesday Season 4, entitled Creating Accessible and Inclusive Work Environments, held today, July 22, via Facebook Live on Bureau of Working Conditions official Facebook page, given this 22nd of July 2026 in the city of Manila, signed by the Director of BWC, Bureau of Working Conditions, Attorney Alvin Corrada. Muli po, maraming salamat, Attorney Cassis. We truly appreciate your participation and support. At umaasa po kami na makakasama pa namin po kayo muli sa mga susunod pa naming learning sessions dito po sa Bureau of Working Conditions. Para naman sa ating
Salamat po.
Para naman sa ating mga viewers, we heard yung inyo pong mga certificates of attendance ay very much available. Pakiscan po yung ating naka-flash na QR code para po maka-access po kayo sa ating evaluation form. Paalala po lamang natin na siguraduhin tama ang spelling ng inyong mga pangalan para tama rin po yung mga certificates ninyo. Kailangan din po natin ng mga email address para maiwasan ang delay sa pagpoproseso po ng inyong mga certificates. Abangan naman po natin ang mga susunod pa pong episodes ng ating Webinar Wednesdays. Next week po, ang ating pong topic ay Stop Hepatitis, Promoting a Safe and Healthy Workplace. For inquiries po, kung may mga katanungan po kayo, questions, you may email us at askbwc.dole.gov.ph or call the Dole hotline 1349. Ulitin ko po, ang email po namin ay ask@bwc.dole.gov.ph. Pwede nyo rin po kaming tawagan sa 1349. Ngayong hapon po, muli nating napatunayan na napakahalaga at napakahalaga ng patuloy na pag-aaral at pagkakaisa upang mapalakas natin ang kaalaman ng mga manggagawa at employers tungkol sa labor standards at occupational safety and health. Ini-invite po namin again yung ating mga viewers to follow us on all our social media websites katulad po ng Facebook, X or formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, and Viber. Ito po ang aming handle, Dole BWC 1949 for more updates and future webinar episodes. I-share na rin po natin ang Webinar Wednesdays para mas lalo po maraming engagement. Kanina po napakadami po ng viewers natin. Umabot po tayo ng 670 viewers. Ano po. So, i-share niyo po sa inyong mga kaibigan, pamilya, at kasamahan sa trabaho para lahat po tayo informed. Ano po. At kung nami-miss niyo po ang ibang episodes, maaari po niyong i-revisit yung ating seasons 1 to 4 sa ating pong mga YouTube channels. So in behalf po of BWC or Bureau of Working Conditions, maraming salamat po sa inyong suporta at pagkakaisa. See you again on our next episode sa Webinar Wednesdays. Muli po, ako po si Mark Brian Torres, ang inyong moderator, signing off. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat.
Para sa mga katanungan at karagdagang impormasyon, maaari po tayong tumawag sa DOLE Hotline 1349 o sumuni sa mga DOLE Regional o Field Office na nakakasakop sa inyong lugar paggawa.